Hi, I'm Derek Black. I'm the head of customer success at revVana. I recently made a video of how to set up revVana through like our quick start methodology to go from zero to something. Today, I'm going to dive a bit more into an important topic in revVana configuration that gives you a bit more than what we have sitting here right now for our revVana plan. That's very simple. I'm going to be talking about mapping fields. And mapping fields are how we take data from our source, so our opportunity products, and convert them over into the plan to give you a forecast that is, granular and monthly or weekly, um, and shapes the revenue and all that sort of stuff. So we'll be talking about that a bit more today and some other small setup things that you would do when you're actually setting up revVana for use in an org. So one of the first things I'm going to do is missing in this org is I don't have a related list for my plans. So that's something that comes up, it's kind of maybe obvious to an experienced Salesforce admin, but how do I get plans to show up here? Well, I just need to add it to the related list layout. So go to the opportunity object and page layouts. And here's the opportunity layout. And go to related lists. And I will add plans right underneath products here. So now I should have plans on the layout. A quick little hack with Salesforce is if you go and you change this display density, it will quickly refresh the page for you. It can be a little tricky to get that to show up. So now I have my opportunity, I have my product, I have a plan. As we may remember from the last video, I simply took the total amount of revenue from this and I spread it evenly across some dates. The dates that we ended up using were just kind of today's date. So I made this on November 6, 2024, because I didn't use a mapping field to actually set the date. So again, mapping fields will dictate what's used from the opportunity to then generate this. So all I did for the mapping fields, which I have open over here, is I mapped a few things. I made a name for the plan. I mapped over a total amount that went into the line item. I used some fields that are specific to revVana to use our automatic schedule type, which dictates how the revenue is going to be spread. In this case, everything that would ever get added to this will just have even spread across the whole term of the plan. And I put in the product name. So we need some more information here to actually give us better revenue forecasts and more dynamic ones that are based on the type of products. Because right now, if I go back to the opportunity and I add some products, all the products are going to behave the same way. And that's fine, I guess, but I probably don't want them to behave the same way because in this example, I have a hardware product that's already added, but let me add some service and some support products here too. And I'll put in a quantity of 1 installation and 1 bronze service level agreement. And I can put in dates here if I want to. I'm going to kind of ignore that for now. We'll talk about that a bit. We already have a close date here. So just by adding these products, my plan should have been updated. You can see that I get the little toast message here that says it was updated. So let's go see what happened to the plan. And I have 3 products on here that are all getting treated the same way with revenue. And realistically, what we want to do is, for keeping things simple for now, we want to have a monthly recurring revenue base for the SLA, the service. We're going to collect that monthly. But for the installation and then the hardware type products, we want to just collect all that in the first month because that's when it's going to be shipped, right? So I need to change or update or improve my revVana configuration to actually make this work. And the way that I would do that is through mapping fields. And there's a bunch of other things I need to update too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 5 or 6 fields here. I'm going to map over the start date to be 30 days after the close date, because that's, typically when we ship things and we start collecting revenue from things, and that's what I want to use in the forecast. I'm going to add the quantity, which right now this is purely amount. There's not a way to see what quantities things map to. So I'll do that. I'm going to add a price that we'll go over, an expected amount based off of the probability of the opportunity. I'll map over the opportunity stage here, product family, and then after I've mapped the product family, I'm going to use that to shape how the revenue is actually spread. So we'll go ahead and do all that stuff that sounds like a lot of work maybe, but it should only take me maybe 5 minutes or something like that. So now we'll go over to the revVana configurator to add some more mapping fields. And what we do is we click the add mapping field button. And I'm going to add a formula for the start date. So I'll go to the plan and we'll grab the start date field. This is our destination where this is going to land. And as I mentioned, what we want to do is make a formula to make the start date for the plan 30 days after the close date. Of course, it's a formula. You can put anything you want in there. It doesn't have to be 30 days. But what I'll do is I'll use a function here. So I'll add days, I'll insert the selected function, and it gives me the syntax that I need to use. I need to put in a date field and then a number. To get the date field, I'll highlight it and I'll click insert field to grab the date that I want. In this case, I want the opportunity close date. So go to opportunity here. And I'll go find the close date. And I'll add it. And then I need to add a number of days that I want to add. And I'm going to say 30. So very easy to do that. Definitely always recommend using the insert field and sometimes the insert function piece of this to create your formula. Because of syntax, we have little quirks and caveats where our fields need braces around them and things like that. So this is the appropriate way to build a formula to add 30 days to the close date. And we're going to use this formula to set the start date on the plan. I'm going to go ahead and save new to go to my next mapping field that I want to make. So I can go through these really quick. I'll try not to get people lost or anything, but I'm going to go to the plan line item. And this time I want to set the quantity. Could be useful for things further down the road or to just show how units of a product are being broken down. So here I want the quantity to go into a plan line item field, and I can just do a straight field mapping. I'm going to use the source field picker, and I'm going to get the quantity from the opportunity product. So opportunity line item, and then it has a quantity as well. I use the source field picker because it fills out all of these fields correctly, including this relationship, which you might not be able to guess immediately on your first try doing this, or even your 100th try. This is important for knowing where you go and can retrace the steps if you're going multiple levels down through lookup fields or something like that. So that's the mapping for the quantity. I am also going to, on the plan line item schedule, I'm going to map over a price. So here I have a price per unit eventually. Here we go. And I'm going to use a field mapping again, and I'm just going to grab from I'm going to go from the plan line item schedule to the plan line item to the opportunity line item to get the sales price, which should be the same as the unit price. And here you can see that this relationship is going over to the opportunity and has the right format and everything for me, so I don't have to think about it. Go ahead and save it new again. I also want to map over the probability from the opportunity to the plan. So here I'm going to grab plan probability, and it's just going to be a field mapping again. And from the plan, I want to find the opportunity and find the probability percent. So that's another mapping field. Save a new. I also want to map over the opportunity stage. Sometimes that's good to have on the plan for reporting purposes. If you just want to know, what plans relate to a certain stage, and you don't have to look up through the opportunity or something like that. It's a very common thing that we do in revVana implementations. So here's the stage field on the plan, and I go to the source field picker, opportunity, and I will grab the stage. Save and new. The next thing that I want to do is I want to map over the product family from the opportunity product to the plan line item. So I'm picking my destination again. Plan line item and product family. Product family is a field that I had to add to the plan line item. It's not part of our managed package. This is the first one where it's a custom field. You are free to add whatever custom fields that you want to store any types of data on the plan line item schedule that you can send data into, do calculations, use formulas, use our stuff to get deeper and deeper into what may be important for your forecast. So here's product family. I am going to go to the opportunity line item. I am going to go to the product on that. And then from there, I'm going to get the product family. And again, my relationship is mapped as I need it. Gonna go ahead and save all of these. I'm gonna click my submit button. And what this does is it creates the actual metadata records that we use for all this config. And now that I have this product family mapped over, I can do something with these fields that I had here earlier, the plan unit measure and the plan unit measure frequency and the plan unit measure frequency spread. Sorry, that's a bit of a mouthful. Here I'm just using static values of total value and allocate proportionately. In the previous video, I explained a bit more what these do. It might be worth giving a short refresher on this again here because they may be really useful. So these are two pick list fields on the plan line item. And these are used by the automatic schedule type that I've been using throughout all this. So these two fields, again, are pick lists that have a few values in each of them. So here's the plan unit measure frequency. This can be used to kind of set up unique daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual recurring values, or to choose allocate first period, last period. We're just using total value, which basically uses the whole amount of the dollar value, the currency value, to be mapped into that plan line item. And then this frequency spread decides how it gets kind of sliced and diced a little bit. So here we just have three things that we want. Allocate proportionally, allocate first period, allocate last period. I'm going to go ahead and copy this so I make sure I spell proportionately correctly when I update my formula here. So here I want to do something with how things are allocated depending on the product family. So I want to change this from a value mapping to a formula mapping. It's already in there, but I want to go to my formula builder. And what I want to do is say if, and I'm going to put in a field here. The field is going to be the product family field here. I'll throw some quotation marks around it. So if product family equals support, I want to allocate proportionately. And if it's anything else, so that will be our hardware or our services product families, I want to allocate first period. And something I can do is I can actually check to see if this formula is correct. We have this editor menu here. And if I go to a plan line item, I can get an ID and I can put it in here. This context ID will refer to the object or the object or record, whatever you want to call it, for where the destination of this formula lands. So in this case, it's plan line item. So I put in a plan line item ID and I can evaluate to see what this is going to result in. So on this plan line item, since it is a hardware item, and it's not support, it's going to allocate to the first period, and that's what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and use this formula. Going to save, going to submit. And then from here, I should be able to generate a new plan. Since I updated the formulas here, I also didn't move the execution order for this to be after the product family is set because it uses that field. So you want to make sure that these are lined up correctly when you're setting the execution order. So I'm going to go back to the opportunity that I had, the express logistics thing. When you're manipulating the plan, the frequency spread and the frequency, you want to start fresh with a new plan. So I'm going to delete my plan to make sure that this works. And then I will go ahead and edit, and I will save this. And then shortly, I should have a new plan that reflects these changes to the revenue distribution. And you can also see now that it starts after the close date. And yes, all of my hardware stuff is going to be allocated into the first period. Same for my services and same for my support. So this is a brief introduction to mapping fields. There's a whole lot of other stuff you can do with these, but I just wanted to demonstrate, how very quickly you can drastically improve your forecasts based on whatever's going on in your org or whatever records you're using. So thanks for your time today and stay tuned for more videos.